morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Spotlight, which is brought to you by the Georgetown branch, where we are here to educate, motivate, and activate. We have a few topics that we're going to be going over today from uh, of cross burning over in Horry County to energy and solar needs. Also, we have some affordable housing issues over in Georgetown. Please stay tuned. I will be right back. All right, let me go ahead and bring on our president, Deontay Winchester. Good morning.
Good morning, Ebony. How are you today?
Good, good. And State Representative Mr. Marvin Neal. Good morning. Regional and
Good,
regional coordinator as well.
good morning, Miss Ebony and Mr. Deontay.
All right. Y'all, let's go ahead and jump into the first thing. It's been a little while. We appreciate everybody who is joining us and who's also been supportive of the local branch here, the NAACP. If you would, please remember to share this information, share this content with others so that they know what's going on in the community. But let's start with a lighter note because some of the other topics that we have to talk about, like whoever burnt that cross in the family yard, we won't even start there. We're gonna start on you know what? Deontay, can you tell everybody what about the cross burning? I think we do need to start there.
Well, this is a serious situation, but since it's actually being handled out in Horry County, the state has picked it up. So I'll let Mr. Neal brief everyone on that situation.
Yeah, Mr. Mills is going to actually, yeah, the point of contact there because he is the regional coordinator. So I know that he would have the information to give to our audience. Mr. Neal?
Oh, first of all, Ebony, I'd like to say that there will be a press conference in reference to the cross burning on on December 27th at 12 o'clock at the new courthouse in Conway. But that situation it transpired on Thanksgiving Day off of 544 of a residence. And a black resident that had a cross burned across from their house, which is 8 feet from their property. This family was being harassed over the past 2 years, and they finally had enough of it. When the cross started burning, we got wind of it through the state NAACP office, President Brenda Murphy. Uh, what's happening now? There was an arrest made by uh, the Horry County and SLED office of the two residents there that burnt the cross, and they have been let out on bail. But there's some additional investigation being done by high authorities and stuff. I put it like that, by the feds. So there's more to come on that, but that's a situation that was really blowing up across the press and the news and everywhere else in South Carolina and abroad, the Associated Press and other news outlets. So there's more to come, but that will be detailed at that press conference on the 27th of December, noon at the courthouse in Conway. Uh,
Okay, you said this is at the courthouse in Conway.
yes, that family was traumatized by what happened there, and some of the residents there also. They were the only black family in that community.
Wow.
So that's the interesting thing. And when you have irate folks that's doing stuff of that nature, it's significant. They brought in some of everyone to do the investigation. The house was raided uh, on, I want to say Monday, Tuesday. They raided the home there, and they're doing some detailed investigation of the things that they found there. But more to come at that press conference. That detail will be out also.
You know, VP Neil, we gotta move on from this and touch on another subject. But this is why it's so important for individuals to recognize that South Carolina is one of the only states remaining without a hate crimes bill on the books right now. These individuals were able to get out on bond and is free right now walking around simply because we don't have that hate crimes bill on the books. And it's a shame. Call your representatives. Let them know that it's unacceptable that we know that South Carolina is one of, I believe, only two states that does not have a hate crimes bill. In 2023, in 2023, nothing on the books to prevent this from happening to more families.
And
Well,
that's it's funny that you brought that up, Deontay, because I was going to ask them, okay, so when the cross was burned, the individuals that were accused of doing that, they were locked up. What were the on what charges? If there is no hate crime bill, which is crazy, you would think after the Emmanuel 9 that something would be done. What will it take at this point to pass a hate crime bill in South Carolina? What has to happen?
well, Ebony, one of the greatest push that we have had was during the Manu 9 situation. And it died in the House of the Senate, died in the Senate. So there's a great push again. Now, hopefully this will bring it over and stuff. We should not have to lose lives again because people are comfortable in doing things of hate to other people that can be avoided. We need a deterrent, and that hate crime bill would be that. It's obviously this thing is working, party line for whatever reason. But what it takes is us to continue to keep pressure on, keep it in the mouths of our House of Representatives and our senators. In the state of South Carolina, there's only two states. That's South Carolina and Wyoming. So South Carolina, it's a shame if you're the last one to get on board, but you're pretty close. But that opportunity is here again. We hope our senators, and it's not a black and white issue, it's a hate issue. And when those type things is going on, we really have some challenges here. But one thing we've had this time, and we were fortunate to get people on board and the authorities on board to try to deal with this issue. We don't know the end result yet, but we know one thing. There was a lot of work done in reference to this cross burning across from that black family's home. They're right now located at another home. They can't even go back to their home until things are cleared up.
Wow.
It's shameful. Shameful.
Hate is hate. But let's just make that clear. Mr. Neal, you said it's on point. It's not a black or white thing. In this case, it was a racial thing, but hate is hate, even down to the Jewish community. This is the current issue is the cross burning, but it's so many different things that are going on. It needs to stop.
The interesting thing, Abby, they threatened the law enforcement when they got there. Threatened the lives of two news reporters when they got there. I mean, that's the in depth that this situation have went. And they're still walking the streets.
Wow. Wow. That's something else. For those of you who are joining us today, thank you so much for joining today's Spotlight. We have just a couple of topics today. One being that cross burning. Just know that there will be a press conference on December 27th at noon at the Conway Courthouse with further details as to that particular situation. And there will be more information to come. Please give us a thumbs up if you're here. That does help our channel. It helps us know that you're there. We do appreciate your support. Please remember to go ahead and share this video onto your friends, your family, so that they can know what's going on. Because one thing is for sure, it takes people to work together in order to make a difference in the community on all different levels, but specifically for this. So we'll move on to the next topic here.
But Ebony, one more thing. You asked what was the charge. It was second-degree harassment. It was on November 24th. So that's as far as they could get, because they can't charge it as a hate crime. Other than that's why the federal level had to come in, and the U.S. attorney. So
That's beyond harassment.
Yeah.
The idea that they were belligerent with the police, that means these folks just do not care. Just do not care. Um, on a lighter note, we're going to dive into the King's Day at the Dome. Deontay, can you go ahead and share with us about King's Day at the Dome representing MLK, please?
Absolutely. Kings Day at the Dome. Let's talk about last year, just for a moment. Uh, Last year, when we had this event, it was a great event. We had a march, from the same church that we're going to start at, this year, and then we marched to the courthouse. It was great, and when we got there, we had an event that was awesome. We had a keynote speaking from Representative Benny Thompson. And it was just a great event to bring everybody together, people from all walks of life. You know, people walking on the streets just stopped and participated in the event if they were just walking by the courthouse. So this is something that you do not want to miss. This year, we're doing something very similar. We're going to start um, at the church there. Can you put the address up? 801 Washington Street in Columbia. We'll have a quick prayer service there. Um, and then from there, we'll march, as we always do, in camaraderie, marching as one to get to the courthouse.
The state
And
house.
when we get there, um, the actual program of the event will start right at about 10 a.m. So make sure you're there. Participate in the march if you're physically able to. But if you're not, be at the courthouse well before 10 a.m. so that you can participate. Know that parking will be limited. You may have to park a little bit away from the courthouse. So get there early so that you can get your parking. Mr. Neal, I
Deontay,
know you have something else.
what time do people need to be there to be in time enough for the prayer and everything?
8:30.
8:30. Okay.
Yes, it's just at the State House too. Not I mean you're still tied into the cross burning, Deontay. But it's
Oh,
at
my bad.
it's at the State House on Gervais Street.
Gervais
Yeah,
Street.
right. So
Right.
make sure you're there in time and stuff. There'll be some other music, you'll find the place. It's not that hard as soon as you come into Columbia good. But
Mr. I'm sorry.
this year we have a special guest. Last year was Benny
Mhm.
Thompson, who was who handled the insurrection case that's still going right now with Donald Trump and trying to overturn that election. But this year, it will be somewhat of significant. I don't want to put a name out here yet. But, more information to come. Just watch our page and just watch the news. I'm pretty sure it would be out right after the holiday here. So make sure you're there because it sets the tone for everything that we are doing. We have to make sure we stay vigilant to what's going on, from book banning to everything else that's happening with our educational system. Because pretty much everything today is focused on education and hate. So you'll hear a lot of that while we're out there, and be fueled up enough to come back to your community and affect change.
Very good. Very good. Please participate in that. And the last topic for today is about solar and energy needs. Y'all, I'm so excited about this. I'm excited about this because Seven Dimensions is actually spearheading a new initiative called MIP. It stands for the Minority Business Solar and Disaster Resiliency Hub. This is an initiative that will be geared toward helping minorities. That's considered those who are Black and brown, women, and we're also going to include our veterans, okay, to help them with business, starting their business, or if they have an existing business, can also provide education, mentorship that will be handled by the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce. Those of you may know the founder and NAACP member, Miss Marilyn Hemingway. Um, Also, with the solar program, what we have found is that the solar and energy field is wide open. Okay. There's a lot of infrastructure that needs to take place in order to make all of this happen in our state. But what has been identified is that usually minorities are the last ones to get information about how they can possibly have careers in that field. Generally, most individuals probably don't think about solar as being a career path, but it is definitely wide open. That is the present and the future. You know, you're talking about cars. A lot of car companies will not make another gas car after year 2035, and that is right around the corner. So we have to prepare now to make sure that the infrastructure is set up so that there's a capacity so that if you have an electric car, that you have somewhere to charge it. But what we also have to keep in mind is because we do live in a coastal area, in a coastal state in itself, if we have to evacuate for some type of disaster, there needs to be enough charging stations in order for people to charge up while they're away from their home and get on the evacuation routes and go ahead and get out. So that's where we have partnered with another program that will provide the education, which is Solar United. I'm so very happy about that. You're going to hear some more information about that. Matter of fact, it's being covered now on another platform. And we're going to bring you that information because we are going to make room for at least 14 students to go through a class, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and what I really think is special and unique about this program is that it's not just to teach these students about solar, but it's also to teach those soft skills that's needed, how to build your resume, and also to have hands-on training with installing solar panels and a solar a charging station. Another thing that's very unique is that generally when it comes time for people to make life improvements, they can't quit working in order to do it. We're going to be paying these individuals. I want to think it's $15 an hour just to take the class. It's a 3-week long class, and soon we're going to have a link out there for anyone that wants to go ahead and register to interview for a spot. And at the end, and this is where you have workforce development and economic development, where these individuals will potentially be offered a job. So you can come in and walk away with a paying job that's in demand right now. We're looking to try to do that multiple times per year. So please look out for that.
Well, let me first commend you, Ebony, for all of the great things that's coming out of Seven Dimensions, as well as your staff down there and all of the organizations that fall under that umbrella. Y'all are doing some great things, and we appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
So, Ebony, I have a couple of questions for you. What is the prerequisite to take the training?
Well, we haven't gotten to a youth program. Ultimately, we will have a youth program, but right now it'll be open to anyone that's at least 18 years or older. There really is not an educational prerequisite with this. And whenever you enroll, you'll be actually OSHA certified whenever you leave. Um, so that's a biggie right there, and being paid, and their lunches, and childcare if need be.
So I
So no
understand
GED or
that.
diploma necessary?
No diploma is
That's
necessary.
big. Okay.
GED, of course, you know, if an individual needs that step, then we can also refer them over to adult education if that's something they would like to have.
Okay.
That's encouraging. Will there be a job placement following this the solar training?
Absolutely. Right now, and it's not set in stone. Keep in mind, these classes will start the first week in March. The information will be coming soon, but we are trying to partner with state and local employers to actually bring them in toward the end, which is why we are going to be helping these individuals create their resume, because employers will actually come before them and offer a job at the end.
Wow.
Where will this where will this training take place? What location?
The training will take place at the Zaja Executive Building. It's located at 1530 High Market Street in Georgetown. We have an area designated that they will come in and be able to do those classes right here on site.
One
That's
last question.
so
What's a ballpark salary that individuals can look towards when they're done with this training and get picked up by an employer?
it really depends, Deontay. When you're talking about the class is 3 weeks long and they'll be OSHA certified, so it'll actually make them qualify for entry level position. So you're talking about $20 an hour. Now, for students that either don't want job placement or they want to further their education in the solar industry, they have the beginning foundation and the work experience to go through on if they want to pick up a specific part of solar and energy, which then, I mean, that person can go and open up their own business. They can work for someone. The possibilities are really endless with that, but in this particular class, it'll make them qualify for entry level position.
Okay.
Yeah. This whole thing is just exciting. I'm just overwhelmed and just excited for everybody. So just stay tuned for some more information. We will be placing that link out there. Share this so that others will know what's going on.
Abney,
Right.
you have done an awesome job with I call it the incubator. And you've really done an awesome job in bringing in programs and just helping people and stuff, from Medicaid to SNAP to insurance, you name it. You know, it's just an awesome, awesome work. And it's a blessing to the community, the work that you have done here and continuing to do. And if there's anything that we could continue to help move you along and stuff, please feel free to give us a call.
Thank you very much. I'm hopeful that as we get closer to March, that we could have our other collaborative partners on the show and they can share their organizations separately. We're 3 separate organizations working together to pull this whole program off. And I'm happy about that, because that's the mindset that we need to have in our community. We have to work together. You know, helping each other doesn't take away from another. We're all helping the same people. Just know that in the solar field, the needs are going to be greater and greater. I want to thank Miss Hughes for joining the show this morning. Good morning.
That's Mama.
I was about to say, that's my mama, y'all.
Oh, man.
I don't know what happened. Okay, here we are. Now, as we go ahead and wrap up today's show, once again, we thank you all for joining today's spotlight. Go ahead, Deontay. I'm sorry.
Real quick, Ebony, we got to touch on the situation that's going on over by Place by the Bay. We have been informed by many members of the community that residents of a Place by the Bay have been given very limited notice that they have to move out of their residence, some as soon as mid-January. We're working to see that individuals get just a little bit more time, because in Georgetown, we're still working with affordable housing and making sure that families have a place to live that they can afford to live in. So with 40 to 50 families being put out on the streets right now, they literally will be homeless because there's no place for them to go in Georgetown. So if you are being affected by that situation, we ask that you reach out to us at 843-790-4075. Again, 843-790-4075. Our housing committee chair, Ms. Sharon Jones. Her phone number is 843-312-2197. Please reach out to us. We will have you go ahead and fill out a complaint form. You can do that at gscnaacp.org. Go on our website. When you look at resources, you'll be able to pull up that form. Go ahead, fill that out, get it back to us, and we'll be able to go ahead and start advocating for those families. We appreciate it. We got your back, but please fill out those forms so that we can go to work for y'all.
And Deontay, one more thing. We like to say to the elected officials out there, you must understand the impact that it is on families. You have children, when people get displaced, children are in school and everything else. We have seen this during the pandemic, before the moratorium, after the moratorium was lifted. So we have to make sure that we do things in a smart way, because children will be affected. They have to change schools and everything else. Trying to find new homes and everything else is a challenge. So please be careful how we move forward with these processes, and try to put moratoriums in space and stuff, in places and stuff where it needs to be and stuff, to make sure people is taken care of in a safe and effective manner. Because children and families are being affected when we make decisions of this nature. We know sometimes we can't control it, but we can definitely delay it and give families a chance to find new location to live. So let's be sensitive about what we are doing when it comes down to the safety and livelihood of people. That's everywhere.
That's exactly right. It's a travesty. Granted, the place is privately owned, but when you do things, you want to do them in a way that it makes sense. It makes sense, and it has to make sense. And I'm glad you brought that up, Mr. Neal, because our elected officials, they really do need to be involved in this process, because when our county had the opportunity to have affordable housing, this might not have even been a major, too much of a major thing, but then it was turned down. How long do people have to wait? And I had a conversation with someone else, and I don't want to name her name, but she said something to me, and it was a paradigm comment. She said, Ebony, we don't have an affordable housing issue. We have a greed issue. We have issues with how much we actually pay people. If we actually paid people what it costs to live, then you would not need affordable housing.
Because housing will be affordable, because you'll be making a living wage.
Thank you.
And that's critical. And that's something that the NAACP have fought for right here in Georgetown, and broken some grounds. And the county have raised their minimum wage to, I think it was $14,000, and the school district went to $18,000. So some things we have to continue to work on, but that's still not enough.
It's still not enough.
The minimum wage, a minimum in Georgetown, should be $24 an hour, but we are pushing for $20 an hour this year coming up, so we get our people back where they don't have to leave Georgetown to go find someplace else to live, to bring in other folks to live in Georgetown, because of what you said in the beginning. Greed. It's a greed issue. When you're tearing down homes that's affordable, to build homes for others to come in to live in Georgetown, we have to be so careful how we do business, because you can push your own families out that have a lifetime, a history here in Georgetown, cultural change and everything. It impacts. And we're going to talk more about that on the other show, how residents and communities, names are being changed because of
gentrification,
reasons that just don't make any sense.
Right.
So we have to be careful. When your name change, your culture change, because it disappears out of the history book, and that's the intent most of the times, to whitewash our history. Our history is our history, and that should not change.
Exactly right. And for those of you who are still here with us, we're here at 30 minutes and within this show. We thank you so much for supporting us. We thank you for joining today's Spotlight, which is brought to you by by the NAACP, where we are here to educate motivate, and activate. Please remember to share this information with your friends and your family so that they can know what's going on and know how you can move forward with helping yourself and others that are around you. And with that being said, we want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. Um, and we look forward to seeing you in the new year and bringing you all the information that you need to know that's going on within this community. Mr. Neal?
In closing, Ebony, I would just tell everyone to make sure they understand there's a difference between charity and justice. Justice seeks right from the beginning. So do the right thing from the start. And then we have to be seeking justice. They accept charity to take its place.
That part.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Everyone take care. We'll see you on the next one.
God bless. Enjoy. Merry Christmas.